Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you're doing well. It is good to be back in Austin. I've spent a couple days in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm glad to be joining you here on the Note Closer Show. Today's topic is a little bit different one. It's a little bit having to do with things that sometimes we have a difficult thing saying. One little two-digit word we have a hard time saying, and that's no. To people sometimes. And I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about everybody has a hard time saying no, because especially when people come to us or friends want to go to us, it's hard to say no because we don't want to piss anybody off. We don't want to make anybody angry. And yes, I do smell barbecue. I smell barbecue. Saw the barbecue joint yesterday when we were having lunch before we jumped on. I was like, I had to get one of those. It's kind of humorous. But what I'm trying to get at is, when you're a new entrepreneur, you're often going out and trying to figure out your kind of path as an investor. You're going to do wholesaling. You're going to do your rentals. You're going to do a variety of things, trying to figure out what best fits you. And I get going to workshops and going to conferences and figuring things out as long as you are taking action. All right. As long as you're doing the things that you need to do to proceed down the path to where your goals are. Now, we all wish the path was straight and narrow, but it is not. It is wide and weaving and ups and downs and upside downs. And sometimes you've got to back up and take a different exit ramp. All right. Sometimes there's a detour ahead, but ultimately, as long as you keep facing forward and moving in the right path, it'd be okay. But what you have to ultimately at some point start to say no to things. And what do I mean by that? Well, I guess the first thing to say no to is no to the daily activities that take away from what you're doing. All right. If you're doing a variety of things, you have to say no to the things that aren't making you money. I think is the first important thing. You have to decide on, hey, what's that 20% of my time that's making me 80% of my money? And I have to say no to the other 80% so that I can focus 100% of my time. That's usually the first thing. The second thing, you can say no to bad habits. No to, instead of going out this weekend, I'm going to go to a workshop this weekend, or I'm going to go to a conference, all right? Or I'm going to jump on a plane and go to Vegas. Now, Vegas is a whole different variety of no's. Let's just face it, that specifically like the point was, hey, no, I'm going to go to bed tonight versus going out to the bar till 3 o'clock in the morning. Or I'm going to go say no, so I wake up at 8 and I'm fresh for networking versus going out and getting wasted, showing up with glitter in my face from the men's club, smelling like a distillery. That's not an effective thing. I'm going to say no to the fireball shots so that I wake up and I can be fresh and capitalize on my hour or 2 hours in the morning when everybody else is hungover. There's also no to people coming to you for things. I literally say no a lot here in the office. No, we're not going to do that. No, I'm not going to focus. I get bombarded with people all the time. Hey, do you want to look at these? Do you want to look at this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this deal? And if it doesn't fit in line with A, where we're going as a note investors, A, or B, where we're going with our marketing, I say no. And sometimes that's not the easiest thing. One of the first things that we had to do with our education side and my teaching side is I had to say no to traveling and spending 4 days in a row coaching people. All right, I had to say no to that because my health was fading, my portfolio was struggling. I had to say yes to myself and no to others. Well, how did I do that? Well, we incorporated going to conference calls and then going to how we do fast track and the mastermind now. That was one of the biggest things. I had to say no to traveling to free conference events. Hey guys, we're filming something here. Can you guys please go by? Thank you. I had to say no to people being loud in the hallway. So one of the things you have to realize too is when I started traveling and teaching more, I had to say no to free events. And don't be wrong, there's nothing wrong with going to events, but at some point you have to start categorizing and classifying events as stuff that would be most effective for you. And are those events going to take away from you spending the time to be effective. I'm a huge fan of my friend Linda Pelagas, who runs the Realty 411 Expos. She's great. She's got a thing going there, but as long as she continues to have those events be free, they have no value to me. Why? Well, a free event really doesn't attract a good quality individual, a good quality investor. And look, I'm not bashing 411 events. I'm just telling you the fact. At a free event, they can have 400, 500 people register for it, and then only have 50, 60 people show up because there's no investment. There's no security in that RSVP, right? We've gone before and there's been 25 people. I mean, there's been 100 at once before, but when 90% of them don't have money to either buy a deal or market or sign up for a class or something, that's not a valuable time, good use of my time or anybody's time. Can I say that? If she were to even charge $100 for the event for her time and the events and stuff like that, it would attract a higher quality person. Same thing happened with the Think Realty events. We used to go to the Think Realty Expo, be sponsored for those, but when they're only charging $20 or $40 for an event, they're only getting 50 to 100 people. So we had to say no to that and say yes to doing more things online. All right. That's other things you have to say no to. Sometimes you got to say no to your family. You got to say no to your friends who, hey, let's go to dinner or let's go do this. I'm like, no, I need to do this. I have to say no to this. I saw a great infographic where somebody says that a 5% down payment on a half or a $400,000 house is like $22,000. And over the year, if you figure in what you pay going out for parking, paying for the round of drinks, paying for the new clothes to go party, and then the other things you're doing, you could pay for your down payment. It was a very, very interesting infographic. So no, saying no often means that you're saying yes to something else. And if you have your friends and family and other individuals around you that support you, tell them what you're saying no, why you're saying no. Listen, I can't go out and do that because I have to work out. My health is important. I can't go out drinking at night because, hey, I've got an early morning training session. Okay? That was one of the things that I had to do as well, is I had to say no to Crown and Sprite, to say yes to going to the gym the next morning, which is not the easiest. I had to say no to the barbecue brisket and ribs, to the green salad, to lose this extra weight. Okay? Life is all about yes and no's. If you say no to something, hopefully you're saying yes to something. If you're saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to other opportunities. And honestly, if you take no action, you choose to make no decisions, somebody will make that decision for you. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves when I talk with people is, what do you want to accomplish? Or, well, I'm thinking about it. Okay, great. Don't think too long, because at some point, somebody's going to make a decision for you. If you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to go to that movie, at some point, guess what? The movie's going to start, or somebody's going to buy the ticket you're going to go to. Okay? I don't know if I want to go to that event. Well, at some point, if you want to, buy the ticket, buy the airfare, because at some point, it's probably going to outprice you, or the event's going to sell out. Or, most importantly, hey, I don't know if I'll make an offer on that. No, great. Don't. Somebody else will. All right? Somebody else will beat you to the punch if it's a great deal. And so I want people, more importantly, to get rid of the procrastination, to get rid of the, well, I don't know. You know what? Say you don't know and go figure out the answer. All right? Learn to say no by saying yes, or learn to say yes by saying no. If it makes up, if I'm not talking in backward, forward speaking this morning. Yoda, exactly. I'm gonna pull out the Yoda hat here in a second. But that's one of the big things. I see people, hey, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that. That's great. But you have to be very careful that you're not taking away from ultimately the most important thing. And only you can do the important things. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm going to choose yes to working 80 hours a week. Well, eventually what you're saying is no to your family. Okay, if you can't balance that stuff. Or I'm gonna take care of my kids. I'm gonna coach Little League. I'm gonna coach soccer. I'm gonna do all this stuff. That's great. You're saying yes to that. Could you say no and say yes to raising more income, being able to pay for the college later on? Life is literally comes down to that one question: yes or no. Yes or no to do this. Yes or no to do this. And whether you believe you can or can't, you are correct, as Henry Ford common of saying, if you believe you can do something, great. If you believe you can't, great, you're right as well. You just have to understand and put your priorities in order a little bit. And I know that sometimes it's difficult. I mean, one of my favorite books that many people have heard me talk about is Outwitting the Devil by Sharon Lechter and Napoleon Hill. And it talks about drifting and how those that are truly successful in their endeavors, successful individuals, entrepreneurs, whatever their definition is set, those that are successful are the ones that are the most focused. And the ones that are most focused are the ones that say no to the distractions. They're the ones that say no to different things. And if you're looking at your daily schedule and trying to figure out, you can tell how many yeses or nos you say towards your right, towards your path by looking at your schedule. If you're constantly taking hour and a half, 2-hour lunches and not accomplishing anything to go down and meet with somebody and they're half an hour late and it runs an hour and a half and then you have a half-hour drive back, that's probably not the most effective use of time. Look, and we all struggle with that, okay? We all struggle with that. I go to the gym for an hour. I could probably be back in the office in a half hour after that. I have a tendency to drift a little bit, get back about 2 o'clock. Doesn't mean I'm not on my phone, doesn't mean I'm talking to people, but I take my time when I get back because first and foremost, I'm kind of sweaty at that point, all right? I'm a sweaty beast, all right? I don't want to.
You like your cool down period.
Yeah, I like my cool down period so I don't walk in just like sweating through the shirts, okay? All right, that's what I'm trying to get at, everybody, is look, what you're doing and the daily decisions you make. And look, I get you have multiple, some of you guys are working full time. I get that. You've got to say yes to the job or you're going to be saying no to paying your bills, all right? We don't want that to happen. But what are you doing in the other hours out of the day? What are you doing with the other 16 hours of your 24-hour day? Obviously, you're sleeping 8, so that gives you at least 7 to 8 hours to do something else. What are you doing with that time? Are you saying yes to your thing, to what you want to accomplish? Or are you saying no to your goals because you're saying yes to 5 hours of TV or, 6 hours of going out and drinking with friends? What do you ultimately want to accomplish? And I'm not saying say no all the time. I'm just simply saying look at what you're doing and how. If you're not any further along than you were 30 days ago or 6 months ago or a year ago, you've got to change something. You've got to start tweaking what you want to accomplish and what you're doing on a daily basis to ultimately get to where you want to be. That makes sense, everybody? I hope it does. Right? Any questions or comments from people out there? I guess one of the biggest things I like to ask people is what are things that you could possibly say no to that you're saying yes, that could say yes to something positive?
George says say yes to saying no at times, and know when to say no.
Know when to say no. Say yes to when they say yes. It sounds like a song we could do. We are 77 days out from Note Camp, everybody. Mm-hmm. Woo!
Getting there.
Note Camp 4.0, the industry's first and truly first and largest virtual Note Summit out there. Mm-hmm. We're so excited. The original virtual Note Summit, exactly. Yes. And I'm excited. I've got a couple amazing keynote speakers lined up. I was talking to them yesterday in the airport.
We can update the website.
I don't know. We might keep one quiet for a little while.
That's fine. It's just updated.
I will tell you this, that my buddy Scott Duffy, who's worked with Fox Sports News and does some amazing things, will be one of the keynote speakers.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
From Launch and Entrepreneur Magazine and 8.com.
Oh, yeah.
He's worked with Richard Branson.
That's awesome.
I'm really excited for Scott. He was like, yay. Totally stoked to be the keynote speaker probably Thursday.
Oh, good.
Thursday. And Friday, I'm working on a really big name that he's trying to check his schedule and some things. So really stoked. He's working to it. He, got to be hungry with what you're wanting to do. And I think he's hungry with different things. So what are the questions that people have?
Casey Lang, he's trying to build his connections on LinkedIn while watching TV, and he's excited for Note Camp.
So let's talk about that's a great way to do things, Casey. While you're watching TV, you've got your laptop pulled out, you're adding connections. Now, one other thing you can do with your LinkedIn is reach out to asset managers. Look for a search of special asset managers or secondary marketing managers and send emails to them. Hey, wanted to reach out to you, wanted to see if you had anything on your bank's portfolio that you were looking to move this quarter. It's a great thing to do. Not only will it help you build asset managers, it'll often lead to them sending you tapes or deals. Big shout out to Jamie Kubiak and Joe Bairina. Mm-hmm. They've got a tape of 45 or 50 first lien San Antonio, Texas deals direct from a San Antonio bank.
Wow.
Yeah.
That they're supposed to get under contract this week for 55% of UPB,
Awesome.
not fair market value. A third of them are non-performing, but the other 2/3 are either 30 days right at scratch
No
in,
way.
30-day or performing.
That's
So
good.
yeah, talked with them a little bit yesterday through it. They've been going back and forth for about 2 weeks with the bank, and they looks like they finally agreed. And another nice thing, they got 30 days to close is what they're hoping to. Yeah, they've asked for it. They've heard in a yes, and they're just waiting for the contract to come in either today or tomorrow to verify that.
Should we have them on to talk about it?
No,
Oh.
not yet.
Well,
When they close on it, we'll talk to have them on there. Yeah, but they've got some things to do. They have a few no's that they should have said yes to.
yeah.
Okay, and I only bring this up because I'm very proud of them. But they had not done their marketing when they came through our fast track training. Their most important things was just to start marketing. Okay. And they come from Joe and Jamie. If you're out there watching, we love you. Okay. But their biggest hurdle was the marketing, just starting to email data to their database and do it on a regular basis. When they called me yesterday, I asked them if they'd done that yet. And of course, they had not. So now that they have a deal, they're behind the 8 ball. Them saying no to working on their marketing is saying yes to them potentially not funding this deal if they don't do the right things. Now, the fact that they've got 30 days closed allows them a little bit of that, but
Well, that's saving their ass.
it's saving their ass, but it still puts them behind the 8 ball from the front end because now they're nervous. Now they're, oh my God, we don't have the money. Well, they haven't marketed. So while they've done great and Joe's been calling banks on a regular basis to get tapes in, we love that. They're not doing the other part of what they should be doing at night or while they're watching TV of setting up their MailChimp accounts or export their LinkedIn connections to start marketing on a regular basis. So I'm actually getting off of this and speaking to them on the phone.
I was gonna say, with those assets, that should be easy to
It should be. Let's say it should be. We're gonna knock on some wood. I've looked at the tape with them. There's always something. Let's just see. I'm first and foremost, I'm excited that they got tape from bank because it proves it does not just me saying that you can get assets from banks. If you make phone calls, you can find deals. Okay, and instead of sending out 4,000 postcards to get one property, they made a couple hundred phone calls to now get a source that sent them 50 assets at once. So your return on investment for the time is exponentially greater than sending out postcards. So questions, comments from anybody?
Todd Leclerc, common mistake is to stop marketing when you get a deal. I'm guilty of that myself.
Yeah.
George says he has close to 2,000 connections on LinkedIn and working more, especially on asset managers.
Good job, George. Todd, you're correct. A lot of times of us get OTSC syndrome. Oh, that's so cute. Or we get shiny object syndrome where we're focused on one deal. We stop marketing for raising capital, marketing and other things.
That's when you should be marketing more and being like, I have this deal, look what I can do with it.
Exactly, because it now gives you an opportunity. You now have content you can create off the deal flow. Most people struggle, well, what I'm going to talk about? Well, if you're working on deals, talk about those. If you've had deals you closed, talk about the previous deals. If you have deals that you're working through, you're making offers on, talk about those. If you have deals that you closed years ago and you never talked about, hey, here's my past deals. Here's my Throwback Thursday. Hashtag TBT. You know what I mean? Or hashtag Throwback Tuesday, whatever day of the week it is what I'm trying to get at. So very proud of people making deals happen. We also got Riaz and Hankton. They ended up closing on a dozen yesterday. And 3 or 4 more in the works. Len Mitchell's closed on a couple deals as well.
Awesome.
So very proud.
Todd also says it's hard to restart the marketing machine after it stalls.
Well, it doesn't stall. You just turn the engine off. And actually, it's not. Actually, Todd, it's not.
Let's grease it back up.
It's just you just basically start again. You just have to do it on a regular daily basis. This is where, like I said before, saying no to other things is saying yes to maybe focus on it. And you have to decide what your things to say yes to, first and foremost. I can't tell you that. Your mama can't tell you that. Your brother, your sister, your mama. Although your mama like to tell you. Your wife probably like to tell you what's important, okay? But sometimes you got to say no, woman, or say no, man. I went there equal.
You're taking a bold statement.
I went there equally for the females that are watching this. No, sir. No, ma'am. I got to work on this right now. And you can bother me after I get this done in an hour. Sometimes you've got to put up the wall Because if you don't respect your time, nobody out there else will. Okay? Questions, comments from anybody else?
Laura Blanc says she is guilty as charged. We need to amp up the marketing as buyers.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You got to ramp it up. We talked about that during your fast track too, Laura. Hey, you closed on a deal. Next, start marketing. Start reaching out to asset managers. Start making things happen. Very proud you closed on a deal. You and his son, we're very, very happy for you. Julian is actually rocking there. Just got to spend your time focused on that instead of marketing on other things.
One thing I've noticed is that, like, because we get inundated with all the, oh, I'm placing this bid and we're doing this and we're doing that. But then, what happens? I never hear anything again. And we should be getting emails flooding saying, oh, I got this. I mean, especially when they close, like, promote yourself. Like, we usually do a deal saying, hey, our students closed this. But don't just share what we made. Toot your own horn. Toot your horn and say, look at what I did, and then throw that out there. And I should be getting emails.
Well, that's the thing. Honey will attract more flies than vinegar will. And a lot of people don't know that. They just posted, hey, we just closed on this. We just closed on this. There's so much value in that because they separate themselves from the rest of the pack.
Or even just a simple email blast that says, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. Nice to meet you. That way the name starts getting frequent, and eventually I'm going to be like, oh, who's this person? Click on it, and I'm going to have some interest because I keep getting something from them.
Right, and this is people aren't using their LinkedIn or even their contacts in Basecamp or from NoteCamp or whatever list they're part of effectively. I mean, we look at all the meetup groups we've looked at over the years. We've looked at hundreds and hundreds of meetup groups, and very few people use the discussion boards there to talk about their deals. Very few people use the mailing list, the thing that I got banned from Meetup for using, because we used it a lot, right?
We used it a lot.
We used it a lot. Like, oh, no. I'm like, we're trying to promote deal flow.
And well, honestly, it's like on Sundays, I'll sit there and I'll be like, if I don't see something from Cody, I'm like, what happened? Where's Cody?
Yeah.
Right.
Cody or Adam. If I don't see a Facebook post or an email, thumbs up.
Well, I did the same thing with everybody reaching out to me on Monday when we didn't do the Monday notes.
Oh, yeah. So that's the thing. Like, I'm used to seeing that, but what I want to see is all the new faces that have been coming through here, getting that out there. And I've been seeing it, but then I saw it for a little bit and then it dissipates.
So what's a funny thing is those that go through our workshops are being known as Carsonites.
I like that.
It's not bad because somebody else told me they went somewhere and they're like, oh, are you Carsonite? And I started, what?
Interesting.
Yeah, Linda Martin was the one that told me that. I heard it from somebody else before. It's better than what? I don't even know what you're saying, so we'll leave that be. We'll just ignore that. So that's the funny is that, and then people are like, oh yeah, I always want Scott as a class because I get a barrage of emails from people that I'm connected to who are talking about their deal flow. And I'm like, that's great. That's a phenomenal thing. And then I see people that like, somebody bashed that on Bigger Pockets, and I laughed. I literally laughed because the guy that bashed it has never sent an email out. He's bitter. He's trying to do business like he did 3-4 years ago. I've met him. The person's not a bad guy, but he just isn't closing the number of deals he's doing, and that's fine. But don't bash somebody else taking action. Don't bash somebody else saying yes to their business and no to your negativity. Okay? Say yes to your positivity. Say no to that with negativity. We might need to use an infographic for that. But anyway, pretty excited, everybody. Pretty excited. So anyway, things rock and roll. Hopefully you are all doing amazing things and are willing to share it across your social media. I saw Christina Fuller posted a picture of, hey, here's 100 assets we're looking at. We've never done to this. Good job, Christina. I see other people that came through the fast track. Frank Fiore, hey, we looked at these, we narrowed it down to these, and here's the ones we're making offers on.
Did you see his calendar where he has he put himself on a person that has like money raining down over him, and he's like, we're gonna have 20 deals by the end of the year. And I was like, this
that was great stuff. Let's get social media posts there. So Frank, I'll give you an example. Frank Fiore and Lisa partner, significant other, came. What's his last name? De Castro. I was gonna say De Guzman, but that's a different one. Sorry, we got Lisa D. So we got a couple Lisa D's in the house. So they're talking about their deal flow, and Lisa's still working full time. Frank recently got laid off from his job and is looking to, hey, either I'm going to do notes full time, but I'm still keeping the option out there for a job. And I asked them, what were their goals? He goes, well, I'd really like to close on maybe 4 deals by the end of the year. And I'm like, 4 deals by the end of the year? Okay, great. But if this is all you're focused on, stretch yourself. You can close on 20 deals before the year is out. Plenty of other people do if you do the things that you do on a regular basis. And then seeing him do that, he's got his whole calendar mapped out, his schedule mapped out, was huge. And they, you know what? They had one of the most interesting travels back to Boston. Like literally almost 24 hours later, it took them to get home because of travel delays and things. But they're still taking action before the week is up. So big shout out to Frank and Lisa out there doing some amazing things. It's De Castro, not De Guzman.
De Castro, yes. Christina Fuller, she's like, I got new private lenders from that one post with their 100.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing what'll happen when you post something. She's like, oh, I got people that want to fund deals. Duh, hello. Very proud. Good job, Christina. But imagine what you would have done. How many more lenders and further along you'd be if you'd have been doing that 6 months ago. Because I guarantee that's not the first time you've heard me talk about that. And I'm glad to hear that from you. But there's really nothing between 6 months ago and now that stopped you except limited beliefs. And I only say that because a lot of people struggle with that. Oh, I can't do that. Or people are going to think I'm stupid and crazy. Listen, most people think I'm stupid and crazy anyway. I don't care.
Some of the crazy ones are the best ones.
Yes. Some of the lunatic, crazy things we've done have panned out quite well. Some of them have bombed like
crazy.
Crazy. And the good thing is nobody opened it, so it didn't work anyway. So that's fine. So anyway, it is Thursday, everybody. Literally July is just literally 4 or 5 days away from being over. I'm excited. We have our mastermind next weekend in Cape Coral. A year reminder. Yeah, Sun Fun and Funny. So a year ago today, I was actually at a San Francisco Giants game on our way to Napa for the Napa Mastermind. Remember that, Greg?
I do.
You were there?
I believe it's been a year.
Yeah, I know it's hard to believe it's been a year. But it's, what's a great thing is seeing these reminders pop up too. Like 2 years ago, a couple days ago, I was at Cape Coral. Mm-hmm. So it's exciting to see stuff pop up and people join in. We really look forward to the fun we're going to have here in Cape Coral in the next week and a half. So if there's no other questions or comments from anybody, we're going to wrap it up for the day. You guys go out and make something happen. We've got a lot of work to do here. We've got a tape that we're going to close on and some other JV deals and stuff that we're working through. Why are you smiling like that?
I'm just smiling.
Okay.
Smiling's my favorite. I'm just smiling.
I'm just smiling. It was kind of the slow. I have a lot of work to do. I'm going to fake it till I make it. Have a great day. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you guys all at the top.